Yeah, hi friends. In this video, let me explain you what would be the common interview question. So I'm creating multiple interview questions slides. So let us see one after the other in our upcoming videos. Your main benefit when you go for a Java interview is why Java? Because everything in Java is an object oriented, you can say, and it is platform independent because it does not require a specific platform. Any platform, be it or any OS, your Java could run, and it is a multi-threaded. We all know that Java is multi-threaded, which is easily portable, that you can write a code in one machine and you can read it in another, because you are converting it to byte code and then you are going to execute it. So as simple as that, you can tell this few key points for your question. And next would be the when it comes to OOPS concepts. So OOPS concepts is, we have prepared a separate video about the OOPS concepts. I'm just giving you an single line answer for your interview. So abstraction. So abstraction is showing your relevant details and hiding your implementation detail. You can give an example of an ATM machine where you withdraw your amount but you does not know the internal processing that is actually happening. And the next would be encapsulation. So encapsulation is nothing but binding your data members and your method into a single unit. Next, why do you go for an inheritance? When a child wants to share the properties of its parent, you go with the concept of an inheritance. So you use a keyword extends. What is polymorphism? So polymorphism is taking multiple forms. I wanted to perform a similar kind of operations. Okay, but the way it does, that is, I'm passing different number of arguments or different number of data type. So it would differ in that. So how can you achieve it? By means of method overloading. Method overloading is compile time and method overriding is your runtime, where you have an inheritance relationship. Next, access modifiers. So there are 4 access modifiers. So private, protected, default and public. Private is only inside the class. Protected is inside the class and also where I am having an inheritance relationship. Then default is inside the class and the package. So one question you might get is, which is more restricted, whether the default or protected? The default is more restricted. Why? Because your protected can be accessed outside the package when you have an inheritance relationship, but when it comes to default, you can have it accessed only inside the package. And public, you all know, it can be accessed across all the classes. Next, what is constructor? So a constructor is nothing but it comes with the same name as your class name, but does not have any return type. So what kind of questions you may get? It is necessary to create a default constructor. No, not necessary, because every time when you are creating an object, your default constructor would be created. Okay, next, this is an important question. What happens when you create a parameterized constructor without default constructor? Say you have a parameterized constructor and you're trying to invoke a default constructor. Then what happens is you will get a compile time error, because it says that a parameterized constructor is only defined in that particular case. Okay, can the constructor be overridden? See, overridden comes with the concept of inheritance, but a constructor name should be of the class name, right? So hence you cannot override it. Can the constructor be final? The constructor cannot be final because you wanted to access in that particular class. Okay, so it will throw you a compile time error. Next, can the constructor be static? Definitely no, because static is something that is bound to the entire class, whereas your constructor would be created for each and every object. Okay, what would be the basic difference between a constructor and a method? You can say minimum 2 differences, that would be sufficient. Constructor has no return type, a method would have a return type, and a constructor name would be same as your class name, whereas it is not necessary for your method. Can the constructor be abstract? The constructor cannot be abstract because by default, every time when you are instantiating a class, your default constructor would be created. You cannot make it abstract because you can call it only inside the same class. You cannot go and call it in another class. If you okay, next is inheritance. Why inheritance is introduced? So that is what, when a subclass want to inherit the data and properties of its parent, you go with the concept of inheritance. So one, they will ask you what would be the benefit. The benefit is simple as that, reusability, because you don't want to write the same set of code in your parent class as well as in your child class. So how can we achieve multiple inheritance in Java? A simple answer would be by means of an inheritance. Okay. So this is one question. When a parent and child has same method, okay, say I am having display of in my parent and child also I am having display of. If you create an object of the child class with parent reference, what is that as? Parent p is equal to new child of. I'm creating. So in that case, whether my parent would be invoked or my child, it would be my child definitely, because the method that is to be invoked depends on the object that is created and not on the reference. In all times, your object, based on your object only, the method would get called. So let us see about the remaining interview questions in our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. If you like our channel, please do like, share and subscribe.